We welcome you inside Wildcat Stadium. Week 7 already of the high school football season, and this week it's an intra-district battle. The 5-1 Rosemount Irish against your 2-4 Eagan Wildcats. Happy Friday night, everybody. He's Nathan Cron. I'm Mike Cook. Glad you're joining us here on ETV or out on the World Wide Web, wherever you're checking in from. And Nate, we got a couple of teams that we know don't necessarily like each other, but Eagan's won the last 2 battles against the Rosemount Irish, so Rosemount's got a little bit of that on their mind, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. The Rosemount Irish are painfully aware of the fact that Wildcats have had the better of them the last 2 seasons, but every season is new. Every season brings with it graduations and kids maturing and becoming better players, and the Rosemount Irish are loaded for bear this year. The Wildcats, on the other hand, still trying to find their rhythm a little bit this season.
Yeah, you look at the Rosemount Irish. We'll talk about their defense in a little bit, but domination is the word that comes to mind with this Rosemount defense. As we said, of course, Rosemount is going to get the ball first, as Eagan will be kicking off left to right across your screen. Eagan wearing the all blues helm tonight, and the Rosemount Irish, the traditional road white blue numbers, and the helmets that the University of Michigan stole from Rosemount.
That's the story I heard as well,
That's what I heard too, yep. Back deep for the Irish of Rosemount, number 3, Jakee Holly, and Savion Severson is number 7. Pooch kick for Wildcats. Rosemount's going to get across the 30-yard line, and they'll start at about their own 34-yard line. Quentin DeBeppo, number 4. A name we'll call a lot on defense tonight. The Augustana commit with the initial return there for the Rosemount Irish. For the Eagan Wildcats, the defense is going to look very familiar to folks that have been watching us all year. Offense, we've got some injuries we'll talk about in a little while. But we were talking about this defense. They've played pretty well lately.
They have been playing well lately. Last week, as I said a couple of times, until maybe towards the very end, some of the best defensive football the Wildcats have maybe put out there in the last handful of seasons. Tonight, though, it is going to be a different challenge. The Rosemount Irish bring a different level of physical play to this game. The Wildcats are going to have to step up and meet it.
First play of the football game for the Rosemount Irish. Going to send a man in motion. And they're going to come back near side, cut back up the middle. That's number 3, the ball carrier. That's Holly. And Holly, he is a speedster. If he gets out in the open field, good luck catching him. Part of a 4x100 team last spring that set a school record. 3 yards there on that first down.
Well, the only way the Wildcats, look, and I'll say it just like we did last week, as you'll see here coming up on the replay, watch the Wildcats here rally right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a whole destruction of Wildcats around them. That's what you got to have if you're in blue tonight. It has to be gang tackling.
Finn Mackin at quarterback for Rosemount. Another tight formation for the Irish. And they're going to send it kind of over to the right side that time. Gobbled up, though, is Severson, the senior running back. He's going to end up losing about a yard on that play, as I'd say about half the Wildcat defense in on that one, including Jace Meyer from his outside linebacker spot.
Irish have tested the interior of the Wildcat defense these last 2 plays. Good job that time. Could not see who that was coming off the bottom of the pile, but as you say, it was a whole group of guys for the Wildcats. I imagine the Rosemount Irish here, he might go to the air, but more likely to the outside.
They need to get to the 44 for the 43, check that for a first down. And they look, Franklin's going to roll. The lefty throws, got a man far side, first down Irish. That's Jaden Jackson on the far side, number 1 for Rosemount. All kinds of time. Actually, that was number 11. Check that, Dixon. Me and Dixon, not 11, not 1. Bottom line, first down Irish.
Well, that time the Wildcat defensive secondary was giving the Irish a little bit of space, and that time Dixon able to square up to that ball. As you see here, you'll watch the rollout here. He's rolling out away from his favored side, but you see there's no defender within about 5 yards of the receiver, something the Wildcat defensive secondary is going to have to clean up.
10 yards on that completion. Rosemount just going to straight ahead. Picks up 3, maybe 4 on first down, get across midfield. Surging through that pile. I think that was Severson. I didn't quite catch the running back's name on that, or number, I should say. 4 yards, though, first down for the Irish. Just underway here, Wildcat Stadium. Like we said, week 7. Hard to believe that, 2 weeks from tonight the playoffs begin?
2 weeks from tonight, absolutely.
Rosemount taking their time. Finken, he'll keep it, cuts it up, finds a seam, first down and plenty more. Wrestled down by Reeder at the 32-yard line, but that's a pickup of 17 yards for the Rosemount quarterback. Second first down of this drive for the Rosemount Irish.
Well, the Wildcats, that was just a great read by Meakin, because what ended up happening is the Wildcats accounted for everything else. They accounted, Mackin. I said Meakin. Meakin was a hockey player. Mackin's a quarterback, and he did a great job there of. Well, I should say the Wildcats took away everything else, and he was the lone guy who had space, and he made the Cats pay.
Fresh set of downs for the visitors. Straight up the middle that time. That's Severson, the senior back. Again, though, a nice pickup on first down, 4 yards for the Rosemount Irish.
Well, the Irish seem to be into a pattern. The this is their third first down. They've gone right between the tackles on all 3 first down plays and got between 3 and 4 yards. And really what it does is it keeps them on schedule, and it opens up that playbook for second and third down, Mike. And so the Wildcats have to tighten up a little on first down to try to force the Irish to do something maybe that they don't want to do necessarily.
Jake Jackson in the backfield. Severson left wing. Severson goes in motion. Pitch, Severson. Gets past Hansen, first down, Irish. And inside the 10-yard line goes Severson. And Rosemount continues to roll on this drive. That's a pickup of about 20, depending on where they spot him.
Yeah, I think if based on what we're seeing from the Wildcat defense, in the middle they seem to be fairly stout, but outside is where you can gash them for big yards. And you watch Severson there; he's breaking a couple tackles. You know, it's going to come down to who makes tackles tonight, Mike. If the Wildcats can prevent guys like Severson from getting extra yards after contact, they're going to have a better chance of this, much better chance of this football game.
Play number 8 of this drive. Straight ahead that time was number 5 for Rosemount. That was Drew Bean. Minimal gain that time. I don't think quite they got the 4 that they've gotten on every other first down on this drive. Just got 2 that time.
It's a minor matter perhaps, but the way Finn Mackin carries out his fake after he gives that hands the ball to the dive back, but then he finishes his fake a good 5-6 yards down the field. It really draws your eye as a defender.
It does. Severson goes in motion again. Mackin, I believe, on the keep that time. Not fooled that time at all was the Eagan defense. First man in, Nick Ross, 21 in blue. It's going to set up third and let's call it 6, maybe 7 for the Irish. Rosemount has a very, very good kicker in Bennett Simmering, but they want 6, not 3.
Good job by the Wildcat defense there. Good job setting the corner that time.
That was Meyer from the backside.
For Heinlein and then Meyer making the tackle. So setting the corner and making the tackle. Big down for the Wildcats.
Could get a first down at the 2. Straight ahead that time. It's going to be decision time for Coach Erdman and the Irish. Do you go for it on 4th and about 2 as Bean gets down to about the 5? 3-yard pickup, we're going to say. We're going to call this one 4th and a long 3, I think, from our vantage point.
So if I were the Wildcats, I would expect the Irish here. I'd expect the Irish here to fake, as they've done the rest of this drive, fake that dive, pull everybody and try to hold everybody in, but then attack the edge. I think that's where the Irish are going to be able to get the seam to be able to get 3 to 4 yards.
And don't jump if they try to go hard count here. They're not going hard count. Quarterback keep. Quarterback is not going to get there. Reeser and company. They gave up 2, but they needed 3. Eagan to take over inside their own 5-yard line.
Well, I said it last week. It was some of the best defense I've seen. I got to tell you something. That's great defense. What the Wildcats just pulled off was some great defense. Watch the Irish. This play's fundamentally sound. I think he's supposed to get the first down there, but somebody inside slowed his momentum. I could not see whose shoulder that was, but they did a great job of slowing his momentum. And as a result, he just wasn't able to make the line to gain.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was Meyer 22, Luke Hansen 52. 5:46 to go in the first. Eagan touches the ball for the first time from their own 4-yard line. And they'll get out to maybe the 8 that time on first down. Madman on the carry for the Wildcats. 16, he's in the game because Parker West is out for this one for the Wildcats. A little bit of he's got an injury, so hopefully he'll be back sooner than later. Cats are also missing number 7, Logan Gilbertson. Also got hurt last week against Farmington, and again, optimistic they'll get him back before this season is over. As the Cats they run it right up the middle once again. They're going to get out across the 10-yard line this time. Couple of yards on the carry. And that's going to be Brandt, number 29, Chris Brandt, whose name we called a lot last week against Farmington, especially in that second half with some ball control for the Wildcats.
Well, the Wildcats have to be careful. The biggest thing and most important thing is to, get a first down. They've set themselves up for a makeable third down. Get a first down, get out of the shadow of your old goalposts. Don't give the Irish a short field.
Do the Cats go to the air? Nope, they're going to pitch it. Backside. And first down out across the 15-yard line. Pushed out of bounds by Levi Sanamo. That for the Wildcats on the ball carrier. That was 28, Jamison. First down, Eagan Wildcats.
I like the attack to the outside. Watch this pitch coming to the outside. Well, I thought we were going to get a replay there, but anyway, it was a pitch to the outside. The Wildcats did a nice job of blocking it up, and again, not trying to do anything fancy, just get the first down. Huge first down for the Wildcats.
Cats straight ahead. Ball is loose there. We hear some hollering down there. Rosemount says they have it. The officials say Rosemount football. Fumble fingers, bite the Wildcats again. Turnover number 16 this year for the Eagan Wildcats. And Eagan also has a man slow to get up out there. Can't quite tell who that is. Bottom line, Rosemount's going to take over at the Wildcat 18-yard line here with 4:20 to go, the opening quarter. Should mention, Nathan, it is tackle cancer. We'll look at that replay. It is a tackle cancer game here in Wildcat country. That was just
that was a bad handoff between Maidman and Brandt. And Brandt is feeling it down there on the field right now. He's actually the player who's receiving attention. And I don't know, again, not 100% sure where the injury might be, but yeah, it's just a bad handoff there between Maidman and Brandt. That ball was never really secured from the quarterback-running back exchange.
Well, those of you that were with us last week in that Farmington game, you know how Eagan struggled on that last offensive series in regulation. To a couple of bad snaps, fumbles. Finally, it cost them. Farmington gets that field goal, sends us to overtime. And then probably the most improbable win you're going to get for the Eagan Wildcats when Eagan gets a field goal and then Farmington has a low snap. Holder can't handle it. The Holder, who's the quarterback,
right,
couldn't handle it. Brandt falls on it. Cats escape.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't. If you had that on your bingo card, congratulations, it's time to buy a lottery ticket. I'm butchering my metaphors there on purpose, but the Wildcats have been bit all year with not holding onto the football, Mike, and now it may just bite them in the rear end here tonight.
Rosemount was looking at their stats from a week ago against Lakeville North in a 21-0 win. 288 yards of offense, just 8 through the air. As I say that, rolling, throwing, wide up back of the end zone, touchdown Irish. Number 11, Meehan Dixon. 18-yard score, 6-0. IRISH.
The Irish executed that so well. They started the motion and the flow to the right side, and then Mackin comes out. You see there, they're pulling guards and pulling tackles that way. That usually means that something's going that direction. And the defensive secondary for the Wildcats bit a little bit, as you see Reeser just a little bit late getting over there. And the Irish making that look very easy, Mike.
So look, let's give Dixon credit too. That ball just on the tips of his fingers was able to haul that one in. Got to admit, when that left Mackin's hands, I thought it had too much on it. But credit to Dixon and the Irish. Bennett simmering for the PAT.
Well within his range, I hear.
I was going to say, let's see how far this football goes. I didn't get all that one, but bottom line is it went through. I know Simmering's being looked at by some schools, including Minnesota State Mankato. Still want to call it Mankato State. But anyway, bottom line, 7-0 for the Rosemount Irish. Here with 4:15 to go, opening quarter on ETV. And welcome, viewers checking in from wherever you are tonight. Whether you're down in Rosemount, you're in Eagan, you're a student away at school enjoying a beverage, or you're checking us out from the ticket office at TCO Stadium, where I know a couple people there have this game on their phones. Eastridge is playing Stillwater up there tonight. Hey, Eagan High School got a heck of an honor last week at homecoming. The 2025 NFHS Performing Arts School of Excellence. Just the 10th high school in the nation and the first in Minnesota to receive this award that's presented by the National Federation of State High School Associations.
So that's an award. It is an award given and given and bestowed because of the success of the various fine arts, the debate, the speech, the theater, the music programs, the visual arts, and the other things that are done here at Eagan High School as the Wildcats put it on the turf again, briefly.
And get out to about the 25-yard line. Yeah, you talk about they've got over 340 students in visual arts, more than 300 in music. The theater has, Encore alone has more than 120 kids in it. 80-plus speech, including, they have 78 state championships in speech here at Eagan High School.
Yeah, historically, yes. I mean, it's Eagan High School due in large part to a lot of the coaches and teachers that helped start the school, found the school back in the early 90s. Have had always a strong debate and speech program, as well as and of course the theater program and music programs are renowned all over the state.
Eagan gets that ball out across the 30-yard line.
That was a forward pass, Mike.
I saw that. Nick Emerson on the catch. Small pickup, but hey, you know what? I think it was 6 yards on first down?
You'll take it.
Just getting back to that award real quick. I saw the guy who is Chris Paulson's the director of performing arts for the NFHS. He said Eagan High School embodies everything this award is meant to celebrate. The achievements of its music, theater, speech, debate, and visual arts programs are extraordinary. But what truly stands out is the way these programs nurture creativity, leadership, and confidence. Eagan has built a model for the nation showing how the performing arts can transform students' lives and enrich entire communities. Pretty much says it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And no shame, by the way, to Rosemount as well. Outstanding in a lot of these areas as well.
Oh, no,
absolutely. I mean, really,
absolutely, all the 196.
I was just going to say, across
all
196
schools have, and so many of the coaches that have been at one school go to the other school, after a few years and things like that. So, yeah, the Rosemount Irish, fantastic speech and debate programs too. Always liked beating those guys when I was competing.
Remember, the on-stage productions are always something pretty special down there as well. Halverson, he gets tripped up in the backfield. That was Videpo up from his secondary spot, and it's going to be fourth down Wildcats. About 2 yards to go. I would think it is punt time for Eagan this early in the game, down by a 7-0 count. And indeed, they have Jamison in to kick. That's Tommy Jamison. Back deep for the Rosemount Irish, Quentin Videpo, senior. They list him as a running back and a D-back. Good snap. Shanked it. Look out. That nearly hit a couple of Gatorade coolers there on the Eagan sideline.
Definitely not what the Wildcats were trying to put together there. It just fell off his foot the wrong way, and so many young punters will pick their head up, or they won't make good contact. Again, you don't have to. It's like my grandpa used to teach me when you're trying to teach me to golf. You don't have to kill it. You just have to make solid contact. And it's the same thing for punting, right? Where you just need to make solid contact. But now, Irish set up in Wildcat territory.
I was just going to say, that reminds me of a lot of the drives you see at the annual Eagan golf outing in the summer. Actually, that probably went further than a lot of the drives you see at that event. Rosemount up 7-0 with 2:13 to go, opening quarter here on ETV. Quarterback keep. Somebody lost a helmet out there. And it was a Wildcat, Comer, that lost his helmet. Minimal pickup for the Irish. Going to set up second, and let's call it 8. Mackin, just a sophomore for the Rosemount Irish.
Does a nice job sticking it in. Good job by the offensive line creating a seam. Not so much a big push. Not so much a big push pushing the Wildcats back, but creating a seam to allow the quarterback to attack the seam and get a couple of yards.
Nice job on the wrap-up, though, by Garcia for the Wildcats. Garcia, 6-foot junior. Being that time wrapped up by a number of Wildcats. First man in, Nathaniel Lee for the Eagan Wildcats, number 10. And he found some friends quickly wearing blue. And that's going to be no gain for the Irish. Probably fortunate to get back to the line of scrimmage on that.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and tell you the Cats really need to get a stop here on this third down. They need to create a fourth down that the Irish coaching staff doesn't get tempted into going for. They need to get a stop here, get this football back, and give their offense another chance. I mean, look, when your offense starts on 1st and 10 on your 4-yard line, you're kind of limited. You can't do kind of what you really want to do. So Wildcats do need to do something here to give their offense a chance to get out of the shadow of their own goalposts.
I want to give 99 Matuszewski some credit. He was the first man in, and then Lee helped finish him off. Airtime for the Irish. Rolling left, throwing across the middle. He was trying to find Holly coming across. Oh, there is a flag on the field, however.
Now, it's interesting. I don't know that there was contact. Cats aren't acting like it's against them. Do we have an illegal man downfield, maybe?
Looking for the man with the white hat right on the 50-yard line. Here we go.
Okay, so it's a hold against the offense, and so the Wildcats will decline that. Yep. It'll be 4th down and 8. And this is, again, I think this is punt time for the Irish. Pin the Wildcats back and make them go 90 yards or something like that to try to beat us and try to get in the end zone.
100% agree with that call.
That makes sense.
Simmering the punter.
Cats need to be careful. They need the ball.
And he'll just sky that one. Tell the Cats get out of the way. Favorable roll. And Eagan's going to start at their own 11-yard line. Can't place that one much better than what Simmering did. Got the roll. Traps Eagan deep in their own end once again.
Absolutely. It was a great kick. See if we can pick it up here on the replay. But watch this. There's a whole host of Irish come flying down. And wisely, Bjorkstrand decides, you know what, let's call fire and get out of here. So you heard, I don't know, maybe you couldn't hear it on the broadcast. They're yelling fire, 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 or tight or tight or tight.
But where that ball came down, you got to worry about an up back potentially
Absolutely.
having their back turned. What could be the final play of the opening quarter. Wildcats get out to about the 15-yard line, 4-yard pickup. Chris Brandt, good to see him back in the game for the Wildcats. It dinged up last time Wildcats had the football. And Cats do not have to run a play, and they will not as the first quarter comes to an end.
So some good stuff there for the Wildcats in the first quarter. Also some challenges. Let's just say some challenges. Have to hold on to the football. In some sense, football is a simple game. It's not about schemes, and it's not about necessarily any of the fancy things that coaches do in headsets and things like that. It's about, can you hold on to the football? Can you make tackles? Can you do the basics, the fundamentals? Right now, the Wildcats are doing some of those fundamentals. They need to do all of them.
By the way, you talk about special things happening on this field. Let's talk about what happened here last night.
Yeah, last night the Wildcat boys and girls soccer teams both survived/won, depending on which game you're talking about. The section semifinals for Section 3-3A that was available for broadcast on NSPN. ETV was either Skip or I were on, but NSPN did broadcast, and we'll see if we can check it out here. So this is the girls getting their first of the night. That looks like Evie Burke. Yeah, look, that's Evie Burke. And here's Tess Triplett with putting her right foot to it. She goes to goal, and somehow that squirts in. You see the Eastview keeper there definitely wasn't expecting that one.
No, her reaction said it all.
Yeah, that was the equivalent of a long distance. That was the equivalent of a Caitlin Clark logo shot. And here's Francesca Bourillon cashing in for the Wildcats to give them a 3-0 lead late in the second half and putting it away against the Eastview Lightning.
Wildcats. That's Halverson to the outside. I believe it's going to be enough to move the sticks. Little pitch right, and there go the sticks on the far side.
The boys, on the other hand, a little bit more challenging. They end up having to tie it late, and then go into penalty kicks. Zayon Oliot ties it up for the Wildcats, one of the big stars of last year's state title run, and the Wildcats survive in penalty kicks by a score of 8-7.
Heyman to throw up top. Man, way overthrown that time. And we said the girls beat Eastview 3-0. So that sets up matchups next Tuesday. And where will those games be?
Those will be held at Rosemount High School. Well, it'll actually be in their stadium, not at the high school itself. But yes, both boys and girls high school soccer teams will be playing at Rosemount next Tuesday. You'll want to pay attention to that. My guess is there will be some free admission for from the booster clubs. So you definitely want to get something lined up, get your babysitter lined up, get your, make sure you've cleared your calendar for homework, and you want to be at those games.
Heyman on the keep. Almost able to bust that one. Instead, he's going to get 7 yards here on second down. Those games, I think, are 5 and 7, the soccer finals down at Rosemount High School next Tuesday.
That is correct.
And speaking of in Rosemount High School, the Eagan volleyball team is there next Tuesday as well.
So that will be, there will be a lot of blue and silver waving down at District Stadium. I think it's still called, is it still called District Stadium?
I think it's Irish Stadium.
Irish Stadium
now?
Irish Stadium? I don't know.
Many years ago, it was District Stadium.
Well, because it was the only stadium in the district.
Exactly. Back when it was just Rosemount and Apple Valley, too. Over the top, is it enough? It is. First down, sticks are going to move once again. I'm presuming that's Brandt.
That's a first down for the Wildcats.
Well, a couple of first downs for the Wildcats, and suddenly their offense starts to come alive. You see Brandt diving forward there. He was kind of almost submarined the linebacker, which is, he was going to make sure he got down and got that first down.
Pitch. Read well by Rosemount, and that's going to be maybe back to the line of scrimmage for number 2, Grady Reeser. So Reeser, the UMD commit.
Yeah, that timing of that play in the backfield did not look right. Something was off there between the quarterback and Reeser. But if you'll notice, the Wildcats' last couple of plays, they've had some different motion in their backfield, trying to tie up the Rosemount defenders, make them stay in one place just an instant longer.
Pitch near side. And maybe a couple of yards that time. Read really well by Max Jones, number 0, and the rest of that Rosemount defense. Charlie Walensky in there as well, up from his linebacker spot. So the Cats looking at 3rd and let's call it 7. They need to get out almost to the 45-yard line.
It's funny, that play looked like it was blocked up pretty well, Mike, but credit to the Rosemount defense. They closed it down so quickly that even though I think it was blocked pretty well by the Wildcats, they just didn't have much opportunity.
A bit of movement there. Edmund keeps it. That's going to be punt time for the Wildcats. Ran into a wall of Rosemount Irish defenders. Trying to see the first man up off the bottom of that pile. I believe it might have been George LeBerry, number 21, first man in for Rosemount. But there were a lot of them in there. I think 52 was in there as well. Wyatt Alexander. Well, let's just call it the Rosemount defense for that matter. Watch as we look at the replay.
Yeah, this is another one where, honestly, I think the timing wasn't quite where it needed to be. And the Irish setting up for a big return as they've got some speedsters back there for this punt return.
A little bit of a high snap. Gets it down. Jamison, much better kick this time. Severson, he'll retreat to his 20. Going left. This kid's got some wheels. He's got some blocks. He needs a couple more. Rosemount back in Wildcat territory once again. They'll start at the 34-yard line. Severson, 46 yards on that return.
Well, it's a situation where the Wildcats that time, they, after the last punt, you're not expecting a big boomer, and that's exactly what happened. That was a big boomer. Forced Severson a good 15 yards back to get that ball, but then once he did, he kind of outkicked his coverage. His coverage was strung out all along their rush lanes and pursuit lanes, and now the Irish have a great chance here to try to go up 2 scores heading in towards halftime.
Officially going to be 45 yards. They're going to spot it at the 35. 8:19 to go in the second quarter. 7-0 Irish. Straight ahead, powering to the right. This is Bean, keeps powering. He's going to be close to, I think it's going to be enough to move the sticks. Wait for the official word on the far side. Powerful run that time for the Rosemount senior.
Yeah, looks like they're going to mark him just short. But the Wildcats are going to have to, the Wildcat defense is going to come up with something special here, Mike. They've got to get a stop. More importantly, I think they've got to get a turnover. They've got to do something to change this momentum, because right now the momentum's all in well, I'll say gold and navy. I was going to say maize and blue, but I guess it's gold.
Mack and Brooks out the calls. Straight ahead. Eagan had that one snuffed out, but is it going to be enough to move the sticks? And there they go on the far side. They're going to give him about 1.5 yards. He needed a yard.
We give a shout out to the Wildcat freshman football team. We'll beat Rosemount today in double overtime. Understand that was quite the matchup between those two squads. The future of the Irish and Wildcat programs on display.
Rosemount with a fresh set of downs. What do they choose to do? Just continue what you're doing. Just run it straight ahead. And down inside the 20. Rosemount into the red zone once again tonight. Oh, we got a late flag. We got some pushing and shoving. I think we're going to have some unsportsmanlikes. Rosemount holding back one of their teammates. A couple of Wildcats holding back a Wildcat.
Be interesting to see if there's actually a consequence for either team here. I did not see it. I did see some of the foolishness at the end of the play, but I didn't see what got us into this mess.
I would guess we have offsetting.
Probably offsetting. You see Coach Dale Comer.
Look at the replay.
We can certainly see. Yep, so there's blocking. He's down. Everything's fine. We've got somebody kicking. We've got somebody pushing.
Yeah. Looks like I think Rosemount carrier kind of kicked the Wildcat defender.
Yep.
And then got some assistance there.
Yeah. You can't. You're on the ground. The play's over. The whistle's blown. You can't kick the defender like that.
See what they call
here.
Let's
see what happens.
Okay. Well, they offset.
Again, that's a situation where if you're a Wildcat player, you gotta keep your cool. You got to keep your cool. If that happens, you got to trust the referees are going to see it, because what you end up doing is you end up giving the Irish another 15 yards.
Absolutely. When I was told by a couple of parents, there was some online chatter among these two squads today, some back and forth. And again, these kids have grown up playing against each other, and it is a rivalry game. Rosemount's going to run it once again. And we've got a flag coming in from the near side. Just shy of a first down if the play stands.
It's not gonna, Mike, because the Irish had a wingback in motion while the other player was in motion. So they're going to call it illegal shift. Yep, that's exactly what the referee's going to do. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the Irish, and they'll back them up for 2nd down and 8.
Back to the 28-yard line. 6:52 to go. Opening half.
So watch on the left side of your screen here. See, he's moving at the same time number 3 is moving. Yep. So Severson's moving at the same time. I check my roster here. Number 3 is
that's Holly.
So Holly and Severson moving at the same time. Just can't do that.
I'm sure that will be addressed in practice.
Or at halftime.
Maybe even halftime.
We'll see.
Or into this drive. Yeah. Going to go to the air. They got a man wide open on that left side. Good pressure by the Wildcats. That's going to be number 22, Jace Meyer, with the sack.
Well, Well, Jason
And
Meyer,
Rosemount continues to go the wrong way.
forgive me, Jason Meyer can hop around a little bit. That's every right to be excited about that one. Eagan goes back, he sets his feet. You would think he would unload the ball there because he's, but the defensive secondary was obviously took away whatever read he was looking for, and Meyer does a great job of staying with it and getting to the quarterback, making the tackle.
Well, he had Hawley kind of leaking out, though, to that left side. I thought for sure he was going to change it, get his feet reset and go there because Hawley had some room. But credit to Meyer and the Wildcat D. It's going to make it 3rd and 14 for the Rosemount Irish. Probably in field goal range. They're going to go pitch far side. This will be Hawley once again. Cuts across the 20. Can he get to the sticks? He does. Can he get to the end zone? He does. Touchdown, Rosemount Irish.
Thought he might have stepped out there on the sideline, but the referee, who has a great view of it, says he stayed, kept his feet in. He absolutely was dancing on that sideline, but he manages to put it in the end zone for the Irish. Nice play, that to the outside, but the Wildcats, watch this as they get beat to the right side of your screen. Everybody's chasing. Nobody can keep outside containment. One missed block. 2 missed blocks. I mean, it's just, tackles.
I say tackles. 1.5. Yeah, Boyd had a tough one on the dive.
They're tough tackles, but you got to make these tackles to keep these guys from getting big yards after the catch.
28 yards for Hawley. 13-0 for the Irish. Simmering. Pretty much automatic. As we say that, did that one get across? It did. I think he might have got tipped by a Wildcat, but it somehow made it. Bottom line, another point for Rosemount, and it's 14-0 for the visitors.
Well, the Wildcats, the Irish don't care about style points. Let's see if we can pick it up here on the replay. Did somebody get a hand on this? They sure did.
I think so. That was Evan Helgeson.
Yeah.
Helgeson, by the way.
Helgeson jumped up and split that A-gap.
Helgeson is 6'5", by the way. And you put a little athleticism there.
Yeah, that creates a little bit of a challenge.
Just slightly.
You know what, that might be something, and again, we'll have to see how this game goes. The story of this game plays out. We'll have to see. But if this game is close at the end, and somebody's kicking a field goal or an extra point, if I was the Rosemount coaching staff, I might say, you know what, we've got to make sure we block that guy.
So Rosemount, that all started with that long punt return by Severson. Rosemount kind of a couple of mistakes, yet they were still able to put 6 on the board. So officially, it's going to be a 6-play drive for 35 yards.
Cats are going to get the football now. They also get the football coming out of halftime, Mike. So huge opportunity here for them to climb back into this football game.
We got to hang on to the ball first. They do. Coming out, they're going to start deep in their own territory once again. Eagan's drives tonight have started at the 4, 25, 11, and now the
8.
5.
Oh, 5.
Well, I guess they're going to get them out to the 8.
8. Yep.
By the way, Eagan so far, total offense, 47 yards in their opening 3 drives.
It's not going to get it done. And again, the Wildcats have, they've already put the ball on the turf 3 times tonight. They've lost 1, but they've put the ball on the turf on kickoff returns already twice.
Levi Cinemo, by the way, first man in for Rosemount. Just stayed in his lane and was right there. And it's going to be second and about 9 as that play. You might get a yard off of that if you're the Eagan Wildcats. Max Jones leading the way in for Rosemount, number 0. Jones had a team-leading 7.5 tackles a week ago in that Lakeville North win. Jones also, by the way, he's got an offer from Winona State, I saw.
Well, mission critical here for the Wildcats. Get a first down. Make sure this clock keeps running. You don't want to give the Irish a chance to go up 3 scores heading into halftime. You want to keep this game within reach, and the way you do that is by getting a first down.
I believe each team still has all 3 timeouts, so if Rosemount starts to think about that, maybe. But the Cats might have got away with a false start there. There's the flag. And we've got Gramboy out there without a helmet on. Lost that in the middle of battle. Peyton Gramboy, number 60. Marshall Beerley, 65. Joey Noreen, 71. Max Kelly, your center, is 75. And we've got Michael Matzik, the sophomore, number 50, starting for that makeshift offensive line for the Wildcats that are down 3 starters from what they thought they'd have this year due to injury.
Yeah, it definitely has not gone to plan for the Wildcat offensive line. Now, that, of course, being said, it's next man up, and of course the Irish are going to decline that penalty and create a long 3rd down as the Wildcats, as Maidman only was able to, he lost a yard.
I think so.
So 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats.
4:26 and counting. Well, Rosemount, I'm sure, has their ears pinned back on defense right here. And straight ahead, Maidman again. You need 10, you got about 3 going up the gut. I understand you want to be safe deep in your own end, but I don't know. I think Rosemount just took a timeout, by the way.
They absolutely did take a timeout, and I think that's the smart for the Rosemount Irish to force the Wildcats here. Now the Wildcats have got to be smart here about this punt and this punt coverage. Last time they gave up a huge return because their punter really nailed it. Again, punter needs to nail it, but they've got to stay in their lanes and do a good job of covering this punt. Otherwise, the Irish are going to be set up in a great place to go up maybe potentially 3 scores. And that might be a really tough hill for these Wildcats to climb out of, Mike.
Well, and you remember that first punt by Jamison, it was a shank.
That's right.
He had the shank, but the last punt was really nice. It just kind of outkicked his coverage, and they didn't stay in their lanes, and yada, yada, yada. But you're absolutely right, Nathan. I think if Rosemount goes up 3 scores, you can change that to 6-1 and 2-5 for team records.
It's you play the game, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
And we've got whistles aplenty.
I don't see a penalty marker on the field.
Trying to see who that is. Is that Boyd that's going to? Yeah, Boyd is the punter right now. Drew Boyd. Trying to look on the sideline. 20. Oh, I see 28. He's sitting on the bench right now without a helmet on. Hopefully he's not dinged up as well. Boyd skies it. Probably not going to be returnable. Out of bounds, though, at the Wildcat 45-yard line. I think the official finally stopped. It's kind of like that Price is Right game with the mountain climber. We just needed the music.
Yes. Well, I can do the music if you really want me to.
No, we're good. I mean, people at home might want to, but
the people at home might want it.
Actually, you know what? I don't think we can because I think that's copyright.
I think it'd be fair use.
Okay, fine. I'm trying.
It's fair use.
To our viewers, you're welcome.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're bailing everybody out.
So on the Eagan 45 are the Rosemount Irish.
Now the Irish are sharks in the water, and there's blood in the water. Now is the chance for them to go up 3 scores and really make it tough on these Wildcats.
By the way, Rosemount's starting on the Eagan 45. Last time they started on the Eagan 35. Before that, the Eagan 45. Before that, the Eagan 18. And then they started the game back at their own 34. Of course, they went down and scored on that one. So, field position advantage Irish.
Yeah, you're not going to win too many football games giving the other team that kind of field position.
6 yards, by the way, on the carry. Send a man in motion. Holly, he scored basically on this same play earlier this quarter. Finds a seam. Lee is going to get carried for about 7 or 8 yards, but first down, is it going to be inside the red zone once again for the Rosemount Irish? They're going to spot the ball just outside the 20. We're going to call that an 18-yard run.
The Cats are really getting eaten up outside. Watch this replay. Right side of your screen. They lose outside containment. And the cavalry's coming, but you cannot lose outside containment on a regular basis like that. Wildcats take a defensive timeout. I think that's a good idea.
Good idea, absolutely.
Anything you could do right now to slow down Irish momentum is I think appreciated by your defense. But those guys, the guys in blue have got to they've got to refocus. I'll say it that way. They have to refocus on keeping that outside containment. Because right now, the big plays for the Rosemount Irish are not necessarily between the tackles or even off tackle. It's outside.
Absolutely. By the way, looking ahead to next week, the Rosemount Irish, they are home, and these are going to be Wednesday night games. It's MEA weekend coming up, and Rosemount is home to Lakeville South in a battle of top 10 teams.
Yeah, that'll be a good game.
Rosemount number 6 right now. Lakeville South is tied for 4th. Eagan Wildcats, a 6 o'clock start up in Rogers. I saw on one of the sites, Wildcat players, the buses are leaving at 3 o'clock sharp.
Yes.
I mean, you got to get up to Rogers in rush hour off 494.
Well, I was just going to say Mom and Dad might have to leave at 3 o'clock sharp, too.
I can't remember, do they have HOV lanes or anything like
Yeah,
that?
I think so.
Boy. Up in Rogers, though, the Royals and the Wildcats. And Rosemount's going to run this one once again. Straight ahead that time. That's Jackson, the ball carrier. It's down to the 17-yard line. 4-yard pickup for Jackson. I think that might have been his first carry of the game. Have to double check on that. But Mackin under center. Do they go to the air? They've had success. They do. Wide open. He's got his man on the left side. That's going to be an easy touchdown for the Rosemount Irish. Jackson from Mackin. 20 rip.
Well, the Wildcats got crossed up. You could see the motion went one way, and then Mackin goes the other direction. Cats did a good job of putting a little pressure on him, as you'll see here on the left-right side of your screen. But whoever was supposed to cover the receiver in the flat, whoever was supposed to cover Jones in the flat, just missed that assignment. And as you say, 20 rip, and now the Wildcats are really drinking out of the fire hose.
Yep, I mean, Drew Boyd tried to catch up, but too much of a head start for Jackson. Simmering for his 3rd PAT attempt of the half. Neither of the first two were exactly pretty, but they went through. That one there, it's better. 21-0 Irish. Eagan Wildcats, they're going to have 2:33 with the football. Rosemount does have 2 timeouts. And the way Eagan has been starting deep in their own zone, they're struggling to move the ball at all. Can't get first downs. And I would think Rosemount will be doing some timeouts potentially.
Well, the biggest thing that'll solve that problem will be the Wildcats to get a good return.
Yep.
Get a good return. Start with the ball on your 30-yard line, somewhere in a decent spot, so that even if you have to punt the ball, you're putting the Irish back well in their own end. But at this point, I do think the Wildcats just probably want to get into halftime and refocus. They get the ball coming out in the first half. You see the Rosemount student section, a lot of stuff to cheer about tonight for them. It's a camo out for them.
I can't see them.
You can't see them? You can't see them?
It's camo. Oh, the bright orange, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, the safety orange? You can't see the safety orange?
Yeah, okay. And we said it is tackle cancer, so, of course, the pit, they're decked out pretty in pink tonight for what I would say probably will be the last Eagan Wildcat home game of the year. You need to rally here and get a win in Rogers and then hope seeding goes your way. Here comes the return, Halverson. And he gets out. Boyd fights off one tackle, gets out to about the 19-yard line, which at the 19, it's weird to say, that might be one of Egan's better starting positions tonight.
It absolutely is.
It's Halverson, the 6'1 junior.
And I think that is enough. I think that's enough of a return, Mike, that the Wildcats should, if they can get a first down, they'll definitely want to worry about the Irish getting the ball back. But hey, got to hold on to the football here too.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't want to jinx the Wildcats, but the Irish have a chance to really put the Wildcats away. And if the Wildcats cough up the ball here, that's going to be real trouble for them.
Or even if you stop them, like I said, you've got 2 timeouts if you're Rosemount. Madman, quick throw. And that doesn't help the cause if you're the Wildcats. Emerson, the intended target, because that stops the clock. So it's 2nd and 10. Now you make 2 stops and you're the Irish. You might get that ball back with, 2 minutes? A hair under?
Yeah, Wildcats have got to get a first down here. Absolutely. It's here. What's interesting about this is Madman steps back and he throws the ball. I mean, I think his receiver was open. He just throws that ball just a little too far to the outside.
Yep, absolutely. Castle run at quarterback keep. And he's going to get out across the 25. Will it be enough for the Sticks? No, it's timeout Rosemount, though. It's going to be a 3rd and about 2 for the Eagan Wildcats.
Yeah, nice play by Maidman there, doing a good job of being shifty. You know, we've seen that Parker West has been real shifty from the quarterback position this season, but watch him as he takes this ball, attacks the edge, keeps the legs moving, buttons up on contact. Nice play that time. Gets about 8, call it 8, so maybe it's 3rd and 2. I had 3rd and 1, but let's call it 3rd and 2. So it's a makeable 3rd down for the Wildcats. Wildcats just desperately need to get this 1st down, and then at that point they can take a breath and say, okay, how do we feel about trying to go down the field, or is it a situation where we need to go into halftime?
Well, you just follow number 60, Peyton Grandboy, whose relative Matt is checking in tonight from Boston watching the game. We were told, Matt, by the way, you were the greatest center in Holly Nuggets history.
The greatest center.
The greatest center in Holly Nugget history,
huge.
Matt Grandboy. Part of the
that's
state tournament team in the Nuggets.
That's some big praise.
Yeah. But hey, Matt, thanks for checking in out there from Boston. Joining Sam Adams, I hope. Can we say that on a high school game?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
I don't know, but we just did.
We just did. They can bleep us. 3rd and about 2 for the Wildcats. Need to get this 1st down. Maidman keeps it, and oh boy, he is going to be, I think, half a yard short. Timeout. Jeff Erdman quickly making that signal on the far side. Erdman, 27th year as head coach at Rosemount, or so I read. We asked him, he says, I don't know, something like that.
I think they're short. They're certainly short. The question becomes, how short are you?
You're not going for it on 4th down. I don't think. I guess.
Well, the Irish are going to give you a chance to think about it with their timeout. So, I mean, maybe you go out there and
try and draw them off.
Draw them off? Absolutely try to draw them off. We've seen the Wildcats occasionally do stuff like that have created some opportunities for themselves.
Down to the cheer squad trying to fire the pit up. Looks like we've got a lot of junior cheerleaders on the track as well, or dance team, I should say. You see some of there, you see the numbers. Unfortunately, we won't be able to show that at halftime because of copyright issues, but
yeah, that's legit.
Yeah, wish we could show it, but yeah, hey, great to see all the youngsters involved with this though. Cats lining up like they're going to go for it, and they are going to go for it. And what's the spot? Boy, that official on the far side, it's going to be close.
I think it's a 1st down.
I think it is, but
both officials are on the 33-yard line. They needed to get to the 33-yard line. So
Rosemount thinks it's not.
Where's the ball?
On the 30. Boy,
I think that's a 1st down.
You had to get to the 33.
And they're touching
the 28, I should say.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sticks are
going
to move.
Yeah, I think that's the right. It was not by much. It was not by much, but I'll tell you, I'm going to give the Wildcats some major guts points here, because I guess that's
Jones coming across the top.
That's the Eagan version of the tush push as Jones comes flying over the top. I thought that was brilliant.
There's a flag behind the play. This one's coming back. Reeser gets another 1st down, but this one's likely in the area where it's going to go 10 against the home team. I'm looking at the referee for a signal. Rosemount's not moving back towards where that play started. Personal foul against Rosemount. Did not see it. So 13 yards for Reeser. Watch on the right side of your screen.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So what ends up happening is, after the ball's pitched, after Maidman pitches the ball, one of the Irish players hammers him right in the upper, he didn't just push him in the chest, he hit him in the face mask. And I think that's probably, you see number 20 there for the Irish. That was Charlie Wilinski.
Maidman, he'll tuck it under, and he'll get dropped. Minimal pickup. And Maidman lost his helmet. He's going to have to come off unless the Cats take a timeout.
Maidman didn't lose his helmet. His helmet was taken off by a tackler.
2-yard pickup.
And so the Wildcats will call a timeout.
Maidman, you saw he's got all the pink black. Instead of the eye black, he's going with the pink tonight. Part of that tackle cancer game.
Well, I guess we're not going to take a timeout. I thought the Wildcats were going to take a TO there.
Straight ahead. There's Reese in at quarterback for a play, Mason Reese.
I was just going to say Mason Reese in for a play, number 9. Making his, I think, well, at least for home games, varsity debut that we recall he is in there.
I think he played a little bit last year. Maidman, good job hanging on to that football. It's going to be 4th and about 2. He got popped. We do have a flag.
Yep, we're going to be 4th and 2. Interesting here. That came in way late.
It did.
Are we going to get I think we might get another 15 against the Irish here.
Maidman's hitting his helmet like he's thinking he got hit in the helmet.
Hit in the head, or I wonder if.
Is there an unsportsmanlike after the play?
Yeah, well, see, I wonder if when the Irish tackled Maidman, if they grabbed the legs and rolled with them, it kind of looked that way.
Here we go.
Yeah, watch here there's I could not see it there. Maybe I couldn't see it there, but again, I'll tell you, if you're the Rosemount Irish and you want to find a good way to let the Wildcats back in this game, keep doing what you're doing, because they've again, sometimes you're going to, close plays at the sideline and stuff like that happens, right? I'm not going to get, players are just juiced up in their, but right now the Wildcats, they've got 2 timeouts left and they're almost in the red zone, Mike.
And Coach Erdman will address that at halftime for Rosemount. Timeout being called for. Timeout taken by the Eagan Wildcats because Rosemount's out. This will be number, I think this is 2 for Eagan or 3?
No, I think it's 2. The Cats will still have 1 timeout after this. Okay. But 30 yards and penalties on this drive alone, Mike, and that's, again, if you just can't, if you are the Wildcats, if you're the Irish, you can't afford to be that ill-disciplined. You can't. I know it's a rivalry game, but you can't do it.
That 30 yards, by the way, was in 4 plays.
Yes.
This ball was sitting back. Remember, Eagan started this drive on their own 18 with 2:26 to go. Rosemount took a couple of timeouts. Eagan barely got that first down on 4th and short. And then you had a run by Reeser, tack on 15 for a personal foul. A couple more runs, and then an unnecessary roughness on the Irish. And here we are with 52 seconds to go.
Well, if the Wildcats can make something out of this, I wouldn't say it's a gift from the Irish, but it's certainly going to give the Cats some momentum going into halftime.
That was the word I was just going to use. Wildcats, they've got Emerson lined up left. I think that's Aiden. Is that Ayers on the right? Can't quite read the number on that far side. Keep. Maidman meets Jones and gets down 16-yard line. Pickup of about 6. Clock continues to tick. Brandt spins around. He's got a first down just about to the 10-yard line. Clock will stop briefly to get the chains set.
They want Maidman to spike the ball.
Ball's on the 11-yard line. And there's the spike.
So what an interesting twist of the events here.
Yeah,
late in this first half, Mike. The momentum all one way, all going one way, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Wildcats take a look at the replay of what just happened here as Maidman goes through. You see Brandt spinning and turning. Wildcats have had several dive back, B-backs, running backs, fullbacks in their history who were really good at running backwards. They would spin and run backwards.
1 timeout still for the Cats. You got 20 seconds. They're going to pitch it. Halverson, he's going to throw it wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Eagan. 6 points. Eagan, Halverson to Emerson.
I got to admit, Mike Cook, I did not have that one on my bingo card, but that's 6 points and maybe 7 with the PAT forthcoming. But the Wildcats, boy, oh boy, oh boy, they've got to feel good about this. They've taken advantage of the opportunity. And just a beautiful ball, and Emerson just got lost back there. The Irish were not expecting that one at all.
No. Cats are going to, well, we've got the swinging gate. And they appear to be going for 2 with this setup. Reese, the quarterback.
Yeah, I think the
Reese now the holder.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. I think the smart thing to do here, guys, is kick the extra point.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't risk anything else.
Sawyer Haglund, number 30 for the PAT. And that kick, plenty of distance. It's good. 13 seconds to go before the half. 21-7 in favor of the Rosemount Irish. And you said, Nathan, really points the Wildcats had to have.
They had to have it based on what had happened, right? They had to have it based on the fact that the Irish had given them 30 extra yards, and then of course the Wildcats had some good offensive plays. They went from their 19, 18-yard line all the way down to the other end in about two minutes and 13 seconds. That's I wouldn't say that's not exactly a 2-minute offense drill. It's not your traditional 2-minute drill, but the fact that the Wildcats could move that far that quickly with some help of some Rosemount penalties is huge.
I was just going to say, and they took advantage of the opportunity given to them by Rosemount's over-eagerness, can we say? I'm not,
youthful exuberance. Youthful exuberance. I always like that because it's amorphous. You're not sure if it's good or bad. It can be both.
Well, it woke up the pit on the near side.
Absolutely. Now, I have to believe the Wildcats will just squib this a few yards down the field, right? I mean, they're just...
Yeah, Rosemount's got nobody. Well, actually, they got a guy backing up now.
They were late with a guy coming on, but yeah.
Now they're good.
They're setting up for a return that is the Rosemount Irish. If I were the Cats, just squib this thing.
It's like they heard you. Straight ahead, Jackson. He had the touchdown a little bit ago. 9 seconds to go for Rosemount. Rosemount scored on a couple of long runs last week against North. I believe one was 91 by Severson, and I think it was 70 was the other one. 91 by Severson and 70 by Jackson. So let's make sure that if the Eagan Wildcats can make a stop.
Yeah, so Cats just need to be smart here. Don't absolutely keep your cool. Don't do anything stupid that extends this play. And I think the Irish are going to say, you know what, let's just go into halftime with our 2-touchdown lead.
And just like you called it, 24 minutes have now elapsed. And it's the Rosemount Irish 21, the Eagan Wildcats 7. Askew and the Wildcats got some momentum late. Can it carry over to the second half? We'll find out when we come back. You're watching Wildcat football on ETV.
going from a 12 to 1,500 square foot Rambler house to 10,000 square feet here in the new art house. I am excited to just see people in this space.
We have a really wide variety of programs and classes here. We're very excited to be able to offer much more than we could before, which we're able to do now that the space is much larger and able to host more people.
I'm most excited to have a space for everybody in the community, whether a budding artist or an artist who has taken classes before and learning to hone their skills. This really just is a spot where we want the community to come, feel welcomed, and enjoy an art experience while they're here.
It only serves to make the community stronger to have these creative spaces, especially very dedicated ones like this. And I'm very excited to see more of the community come in and engage with this space and each other here.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How is it? Is it good?
We were inspired to build a new indoor playground because the old one was getting over 20 years old and we just needed a new place for the community and families to be able to bring their kiddos. The new space is actually a multi-level space. It's taller than the last one was, and it's very big, has open areas inside the playground itself. So if a parent needed to go up there, it's suitable for that. And it's soft and cozy and bright inside. We do offer a special right now for the month of August and September. We're doing $5 Fridays, and that includes use of our gymnasium as well. Spaces such as the Blast Indoor Playground really do serve our community. It's a great meeting spot to be able to have an indoor safe place to get together and play.
Been a treat to see the interest in girls flag. It's the first year, you know, it's exciting that we had so much ask from the girls to, hey, can I come play? Absolutely. We have about 45 girls on our roster right now.
I found out about the league from my coach, Carl. He was our weightlifting coach, so he kind of inspired me as well to come out and play.
In the league, we have over 51 teams. They started last year with the pilot program with 4, now it's 51. So it kind of boomed over a year.
They actually made the schedule around other sports. I know a lot of people, they do softball or track, so getting to play sport with them means a lot to me.
Scheduling was a struggle. We're a club sport technically, so we practice at 7 o'clock at night so girls can go compete in their other sports.
A lot of the successes as a team is just higher game IQ. So some girls came in not knowing anything about football, and now they have plays memorized.
Going into today's game, I felt nervous because I knew some of my friends and my family members were coming. Then I just got on the field and tried to do my best.
The NFL's involvement with the league has been so great. Minnesota Vikings, it wouldn't have ever gotten started without them. They run all the behind the scene things.
I just want to thank my teammates for having a fun day. I know it wasn't super successful, but we're working hard.
I'm proud of how far we came from last game to this game at home. Even though we lost, I think overall as a team we played better.
Being a part of something brand new is tough, but I think the girls are getting a lot of teamwork and a lot of different skills that they can utilize in their other sports too.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
I'm Mike McGuire. I'm an Eagan homeowner, and I also happen to be the mayor. We are installing a new roof today, and we decided to go with solar shingles to generate some solar energy for the house and offset some of our electricity costs.
Solar shingles are a photovoltaic technology that generate electricity. They function much like any rooftop solar panel that you may be familiar with. So they're super cool in that they generate electricity and they protect a home from the weather. So it's an awesome new technology that's available that offers a little bit more of an aesthetic appeal to homeowners that might not want a bulky solar panel on their roof.
So this is the Timberline solar shingle. This is the part of the shingle that gets nailed onto your roof. Just like a normal shingle would be attached, there's a nailing strip here and there's a sealant strip on the bottom of it. And then this part of the shingle produces electricity from solar. The nice thing with this is it decreases the amount of laborers that you have to have on your property when you're looking at getting a roof and solar at the same time. The roofing crew does the shingles and the roofing crew does the install of the solar shingles.
My understanding from our contractor is when they went into the city to get the permits, it was the first solar shingle installation that Eagan has seen. So we put the inspections department through their paces and got all the permits done. And so we're here at the exciting conclusion installing our new solar shingled roof today.
Having solar shingles in Eagan is super exciting. This marks a really awesome milestone in our local climate work in the city, and it shows that our community and homeowners here are excited about renewable energy technology.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd?
He got a collapsed lung from vaping.
He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma.
It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Sends it right to the middle, and a goal right off the bat for this Eagan Wildcats team by Bazanki. Triplet with it. Takes a shot on net, and it goes in. Couldn't quite tell from this angle, but slips by the goalie. It didn't even really look like she. And in the goal box right here sets up Morian. And Morian with the goal. Beautiful play. Wildcats, number 2 seed, will move on to the section championship. Unfortunately, Eastview Lightning season is now over. Great fought game by both teams today as Eagan Wildcats win 3-0. Goes high. And a goal for the Eastview Lightning. And they get past the last defender. And they score! And he gets it. And he makes it. And he makes it. And the Wildcats will return to the section championship in hopes of advancing to the state tournament.
support, and the wonderful volunteers of the Eagan High School Band Boosters. Please stop by and support the boosters at the concession stand located near the stadium entrance.
We welcome you back inside Wildcat country. We're at the half. It's the Rosemount Irish leading the Eagan Wildcats by a 21-7 count here on a tackle cancer night at Eagan High School. You see the pit decked out in the pink. Playing a message from Randy Shaver right now up on the video board. Of course, money all helps represent the Randy Shaver Cancer Research Fund. I know Rosemount had their tackle cancer night. I think it was last week or the week before. Raised a lot of money as well. So always good when schools can contribute and hopefully find a way to fight that nasty disease or diseases, however you want to look at the multiple cancers in the world. But boy, Nathan, you look at the end of that first half, Eagan down 21 rip. They get the ball on about their own 13-yard line, I think it was. Gutsy 4th and 1 call at the 25, keeps the drive alive. And then Rosemount hands them 30 yards in penalties. And the Cats convert, and they're only down by 2 scores, and they get the ball.
Yeah, the Wildcats, you never say never. It's high school sports, and so we've seen some crazy things. I mean, you look at last week when the Wildcats managed to hang on after gifting / allowing the Tigers, the Farmington Tigers, to get 10 points in the last 4 minutes and 28 seconds or something like that. So you can never say never in high school sports, but the Wildcats were on life support. They were absolutely on life support there at the end of the first half, and now there's a beep, there's a pulse.
Yep.
The Wildcats have an opportunity to get this football, start with decent field position. It's important for them not to start inside their own 20. They got to start, get a good return, start with decent field position, and then put together a drive, move this football down, maybe get another touchdown. And I tell you, at 21-14, this game, it's game on.
Absolutely. And conversely, if you're Rosemount, you want to make a stop here, go down and score right away and basically eliminate any chance or any thoughts Eagan has of winning for the 3rd straight time in this matchup, as Eagan has won the last 2 years against the Rosemount Irish. And before that, Rosemount had won 11 straight in this battle. I don't know. It's another one. Why don't we have a trophy for this one?
It's interesting. To my knowledge, to my recollection, and we can ask maybe some of these Rosemount coaches up in the booth with us at a break, maybe at the quarter break or something, we can ask them, but I don't think any of the high schools in this district, in 196, I don't think any of them have traveling trophies. Like between Eastview and Eagan, or Apple Valley and Eastview. Now, of course, Apple Valley for many years has been at Class 5A, so they're not going to play each other.
Right.
But Rosemount, Eastview, and Eagan tend to play each other on a regular basis, and you would think there would be a traveling trophy of some sort between those two different, those various different schools. I'm not sure if that's just frowned upon generally, or if that's just something no one's ever come up with it. But by gosh, there ought to be.
I want to say Eastview and Apple Valley had like an Apple Cup, but I actually think that because of the football 6A, 5A thing, that switched over to soccer. I thought I read that somewhere, but anyway.
Here's hoping that Apple Valley someday soon makes it back up to 6A, so we can. I would love to have the Wildcats play Apple Valley again, and and I'm sure the Eastview Lightning would like a chance to play the Eagles as well, and we wish nothing but the best for that school and for that program. But tonight it's the Irish and the Wildcats, and we've got 24 more minutes of football, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. The Wildcats showed us something by taking advantage of the opportunity that they were handed.
Yep.
But
absolutely.
you know what? That's a sign of maturity, and it's a sign of mental toughness to be able to take advantage of an opportunity and not squander it. Because once in a while, another team will give you a chance to climb back into a football game, and that might just be what the Wildcats did.
As they got shout cranking across the PA system. The players are not dancing to shout. The pit is, but there's just a coincidental shot there of the players doing those warm up there. But I was going to say last year was 29-14 Wildcats, 17-6 in 2023. The 3 previous years before that, 39-7, 47-7, 35-0 Rosemount.
Yeah. It had been feast or famine for the Wildcats, and for a long time they weren't eating anything. They were malnourished, so let's say it that way.
Yep.
But the Wildcats tonight have a chance if they come out here in the second half and put something good together early in this second half. there's still a chance for them to climb right back into this football game and make a game of it. And I'll tell you, win or lose, as a high school athlete, you want to be in the game. You don't want to get blown out. You also don't want to blow anybody else out, really. I mean, it's because at some point it's not as enjoyable an experience. But for the guys on the field, you want to be in the game, and the Wildcats can be in the game if they go down and get some points on this drive.
By the way, Rosemount, we said you've got Lakeville South next Wednesday. Huge game down at Irish Stadium. Lakeville South over Prior Lake, 13-7 at the half. Last report we got on that one. And Farmington is leading Shakopee 7-0 at the half in that one. So and we saw the Tigers here last week, and then we saw Shakopee in week 1 basically destroy the Wildcats. And then Farmington, boy, I was underwhelmed, I guess you could say, but what I saw. But, wow, Tigers up 7-rip on Shakopee. The Shakopee squad that Rosemount beat a few weeks ago down in Shakopee. And that ball is going to get out of bounds. Did it get to the end zone? I think it did. So the ball will come out to the 20 instead of the 35. Again, Nathan, as you said, huge drive here for both teams.
Well, huge drive for both teams, but if I can abuse the English language, huger for the Wildcats.
We were talking about debate and speech earlier. Did you use a word like that in debate and
I
speech?
would never have used a word like that in debate and speech.
Exactly. Cats are going to hand it off. Actually, Maidman's going to keep that one on first down. Runs into, again, about 7 or 8 different Rosemount players. See who comes up off the bottom of the pile in white. It looks like it was number 21. Labari was the first man for the Rosemount Irish, but he got plenty of help by the white shirts.
Cats just need to be smart here. Again, be fundamentally sound, right? Make the fundamental play, do your job, win the battle, your individual battle, and let the chips fall where they may.
Cat's going to pitch it. Halverson, a couple more that time. We've got, but his heart, I think, skipped a beat, made him a little slow to get up there at the quarterback spot, but he popped up. So, I'm going to call that a 2-yard run that time for the Cats. 3rd and 6. Another Coach Nick Johnson telling us before the game that, gosh forbid, if Maidman were to get hurt, Max Tadding, a sophomore, would become the signal caller for the Wildcats. Max just got called up this week. Do you call it called up in high school?
Sure.
Why not? Why not?
Let's call it that.
We will. Pitch near side, bobbled pitch. Rosemount, I think, has that one on the 20.
Well, they had it
inside the 20.
Do they have it still?
They are acting like they do.
And they do.
Miscue, Wildcats. Bad pitch. Coming up with the football off the bottom of that pile. Number 26 for the Rosemount Irish, Jackson Harris. The linebacker from his outside spot, and that was Reeser. Didn't have much of a chance there.
Yeah, that pitch was over his head. It was above his helmet. And that's just not going to get it done. It's the look, we talked about the Rosemount Irish gifting the Wildcats, in part helping them get 7 points at the end of the first half. I think the Wildcats may have just given the Irish 7 points here at the start of the second.
First half, Rosemount scored 3 touchdowns. The drives were 18, 35, and 45 yards. Field position, Irish. Straight ahead. Not going to score on that play. Long ways to go. Might have got a couple that time. Running into the heart of that pile was Drew Bean, number 5.
Cats desperately need a turnover, Mike. It's not enough to even give up a field goal here. They desperately need to keep the Irish off the board and get some momentum back. And the Wildcat offense has some soul searching. They've put the ball on the turf, at least by my count, 4 times tonight. They've lost 2 of them. I guess that includes the return game too, but
yeah. Early stages, second half. Rosemount looking to convert off an Eagan turnover. Back, and he'll keep it. He'll pitch it. Holly's got 1 score. And he's down inside the 5-yard line. First down, Irish. Similar play to what Holly scored on in that first half. They get a 28-yard burster on the left side. That one started at the 16. Ends up just inside the 5. First down, Rosemount Irish. Jakey Holly, he's a senior. Rosemount looking to punch this one in, go up by 3 touchdowns. Not going to happen there. Holly, I believe, was straight up the gut down to the 1. Actually, this Jackson, the ball carrier. Check that. Number 1, Jaden Jackson. Jackson had a touchdown back in the opening half as well. His via the catch. Doing the rowdy chant over on the Rosemount student section. And Rosemount on the verge of letting their student section get rowdy. Second goal from the 1. Jackson. Number 1 from the 1 for 6. 27-7 Irish.
The Irish made that just look too easy, and the Wildcats, again, give the Irish a short field. And that is not going to get it done against this Irish team. Again, the Irish, this is not, this is not the Wildcat team of a couple of years ago or last year. This isn't, but this isn't the Irish team of 2 years ago or last year either that struggled offensively against these Wildcats. You see there the Wildcats just catching blocks. Some huge players.
71 in Rosemount. Sam Lloyd.
Yep, Sam Lloyd. Sam Lloyd and his buddy Henry Estebo just absolutely enveloped the neutral zone. I mean, if the Millennium Falcon were flying by, Ben Kenobi would be saying, that's no moon. I mean, that's huge. Either of those guys are huge.
Boy, it's good, by the way. By the way, Estebo was the one of the players of the week in that Lakeville North game. Along with Max Jones, Severson, George Labari, Christian Britnell, Simmering. And the Dog Fighter Award for Rosemount went to Cash Telcott and Brady Struble, a couple of those big offensive linemen for the Rosemount Irish. Well, I read Rosemount this year, they wanted to be more physical, play with more aggression. I think they are.
Well, and we talked, you and I have a chance, Mike, to talk to a number of coaches before games, right? And so one of the questions we did ask a couple of coaches that have visited Wildcat Stadium is, how are the Rosemount Irish this year? And the word that I think both coaches used was physical.
Physical, yeah,
was
absolutely.
physical. They absolutely were physical. And right now, they're out physicaling. Again,
that's a real word now.
Well, it's a real word, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, but they're being much more physical than the Wildcats.
Yeah, absolutely. Simmering, he'll kick this one. This one will be returnable from the 1-yard line. Coming near side, Halverson. Lose one tackler. Hello. Fights his way out to maybe the 13-yard line. Levi Roast in there for the tackle for Rosemount, number 12. First time we've called him tonight. He had a pick last week in that win over Lakeville North. Halverson just nowhere to go on that.
I am not going to second guess the young man for trying to make a play for his team, but he fielded that on the 1-yard line. He might have needed to take 4 more feet, back up 4 feet and take a knee.
Yeah. So they're going to start over from their 14-yard line. Pitch completed. Halverson. Yeah, he carries a couple of tacklers out across the 20-yard line. Nice run by Gage. Jones with the stop for the Rosemount Irish. Max Jones, number 0. Probably the leader of this Rosemount defensive unit. A couple other guys out there as well. You saw Cinemo, he kind of first man to get there and slow up the Eagan ball carrier.
Well, Eagan has some players, and I think that the Halverson's the key, the chief one. They have some guys who can go the distance, but they're going to need to get some running room.
Well, they're going to sticks are going to move on this play by the Eagan Wildcats. That'll get them a first down. Halverson, I believe, the ball carrier, or no, Brandt the ball carrier that time, I should say, for the Wildcats. It's out to about the 28-yard line, fresh set of downs.
Well, the Rosemount defense is averaging, I think, did you say that they've only given up 7 points, giving up 7 points a game?
Just under, they gave up 21 to Centennial in week 1. Since then, the next 5 games, less than 7 points a game.
Okay, so.
Including 2 shutouts. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
And straight ahead. Some more tough yards for the Wildcats. Got to be Brent on the bottom of that pile. And indeed it is Jones among others in on the stop for the Rosemount Irish. I think Wyatt Alexander got in there as well. 3 yards or 4 yards for Eagan, depending how you want to look at that.
I'm going to tell you something. The last couple of first down plays for these Wildcats, the offensive line has been moving some people around. And maybe, I don't know what they put in the Gatorade at halftime, but the offensive line looks like they're firing off the ball hard.
Brandt, he'll go again. And he'll get out across the 35. Let's call it the 36-yard line. Going to set up third and about a long 2, short 3. Brandt, a little equipment issue there, trying to get some of that tape ripped off of him. There they go. There you go. Or a belt. Souvenir for the referee, the official. A part of his T-shirt. Yeah. Big play for the Wildcats right here. You got to keep this drive going. Bigger play for the Rosemount Irish, who stuffed it out. Maneman, I believe, on the carry. Jones the stop again for the Irish. 4th and about 1.5 yards. Just past the halfway point, quarter number 3. You know the Cats are going for it. 20 in there as well was Wilinski.
So I think the Cats, they're lining up to go for it. I think this is a good call. I think attacking the outside though is probably going to be better than trying to go up the middle against these Rosemount Irish.
And Mademan's going to go, and he's not going to get there. Rosemount's going to take over on downs at the Wildcat 38-yard line. Vedeppo might have been the first one in for Rosemount. Max Williams and company. And the Cats are stuffed. Let's take a look at that replay. Watch the Rosemounts defensive surge.
Well, Brandt got absolutely gobbled up.
And Vedeppo finished him off.
I think what the Wildcats needed there, again, easy for me up here in the booth. I'm not a coach. I don't know what's going on down on the field, but I think the Wildcats could have used a little bit of misdirection there, because it looked like the Irish really had that schemed up well and knew exactly what they wanted to get done there. So a little bit of misdirection or something a little crafty might have fooled the Irish, but we'll never know.
Well, I think you got to give Rosemount credit. I mean, they burst through the line with
more
than one guy, and that might have blown up that play. Here comes the Irish. Good for a dagger. Jackson gets it inside the 30. Right about the 20. Check that, 7 that time is Severson. 1-7. That was close. Severson.
Yeah, good blocking to the outside. Wildcats do a good job of actually turning this play in, but the pursuit, Severson just too much gas. Right, he gets to the corner so quickly and he goes around, and the pursuit from the inside just can't stop him until he's 9 yards down the field.
Inside 5 to go in the third quarter. Rosemount in total control at this point. Go to the air. Thinking about it. Rolling. Keeping. And out of bounds. Heinlein, good coverage that time for the Eagan Wildcats, 33 in blue. Charlie, one of many seniors potentially playing their last home game in this stadium.
Yeah, based on the result tonight and what's going to happen next week, we're not sure. Obviously, we're not sure what's going to happen next week because Mackin doesn't see anything, rolls out. He's a left-handed quarterback, so somebody in blue needs to be up there to pressure, and Heinlein does step into that role. But you're right, barring the most unusual of comebacks and circumstances, this will be the last game these seniors will play at Wildcat Stadium.
First down from the 28, go the Rosemount Irish. Your side coming through a hole down to the 15-yard line. Again, good surge. Severson. Boy, Severson looked like he was going at about half stride there. It still ends up getting, 13 yards on that carry? 12 yards? Just made it look so easy.
What a stretch to the outside. Again, Wildcats lose some outside containment. And honestly, I think that's where running between the tackles against the Wildcats really, the Cats have shown that they can defend that. I think where they're really struggling is those wide areas.
He goes in motion. He'll get the pitch. A lot of success running him outside. Not going to happen this time. Garcia and company in for the Wildcats. Darnell Watkins, 6'7", in there for the Wildcats as well. There's a couple of linebackers, Hanson and Charrier. First time we've called Devontae Charrier tonight. 53, one of the top linebackers for the squad.
Cats did a much better job that time. You could see it on your screen, sniffing that out and doing a good job of remaining rugged at the point of attack.
There's 5 yards more there for Rosemount. Just taking their own sweet time as Jackson picks up about half of what they need for a first down. It's going to set up third and let's call it about 4.
Well, there's two ways the Irish can really put the dagger in the Wildcats here. And the first is score. Second is, even if you don't score, if you burn off 3, 4, 5 minutes of the clock, the Cats just are not going to have enough possessions. Even if they were to get an onside kick or something or score a couple touchdowns, they're just not going to have enough possessions.
This drive started with 5:20 to go in the quarter. Jackson. How about that surge by that Rosemount offensive line once again? 3 yards, 4 yards before he was even touched by a Wildcat.
Yeah, just some big bodies up there for the Irish. We've already called a couple of those names here already this evening. And just, again, a good surge. Cats just catching blocks. Watch here as they're catching some blocks, and Irish doing a good job of opening up seams, and now it's just push and shove time, and the Wildcats, it just didn't go well for them there.
Nope. From the 3, Rosemount, fresh set of downs. I think he's just shy.
Yeah, he's shy.
The officials are going to say, indeed, he is. Jackson down. Number 1 takes it to the 1.
Irish lining up very quickly.
Yep, Jackson had a 1-yard touchdown run last time Rosemount had the football.
Irish quickly go quick quarterback sneak. And are we going to have a timeout?
We definitely don't have a touchdown.
We don't have a touchdown. Irish went quickly with a quarterback sneak as Mackin was trying to sneak that over and actually lost, I would say lost the yard, but he certainly didn't get a gain. But I heard whistles very quickly, and I wondered if maybe that the Irish weren't set. Instead, it is a stop on 2nd down and goal, so the Cats have to dial up something here. A big opportunity to get just a little bit of satisfaction here against the Irish. See if you can make a goal line stand.
Mackin, Jackson, Askew and company. I don't think he got in. No, he did not. Wildcats with another stuff. So it's going to be 4th and goal at the inside the 1. Take a look at this defense by the Wildcats.
Wow, look at all these bodies. Look at Garcia, look at Reeser, look at
Charrier.
Boyd, Charrier, just Hanson. All these guys just grinding.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't see
nicely done.
I didn't see who that was on the bottom of that pile, but somebody got low right away for the Cats.
I'll tell you, this will be a stop here would be epic. It would be huge.
I assume they're going to just give it to Jackson. They do. And Rosemount thinks he's over. The officials say,
I think he is over.
Officials say he is not over.
I think they're unstacking the pile first.
I'm looking down there. I don't see any arms going up.
Now it's up.
There it is. Yep, touchdown Rosemount.
Yeah, he had to have made it over. He fell. It looked like he fell clearly into the end zone.
Yeah, I thought he did too. Just follow the block of Brady Struble. And why not follow Brady Struble? That is a big young man, number 70 in white.
Well, it's enrollment stock as well. It's those guys. I mean, I think I could have scored there.
Struble, by the way, he's also getting looked at. Winona State, St. John's have offered yet to make a collegiate decision. There's big number 70. Simmering to make this 35-7. And again, not the prettiest of kicks, but effective. So Jackson, 3 touchdowns tonight. 2 on the ground each time was from a yard out. Also caught a 17-yard pass, and as you look at the last play, a little bit of tush push helping there at the end.
Yeah, I would
Cash Talcott, number 50. He's also he's a big lineman for the Rosemount Irish. Actually plays both ways for Rosemount.
I'm going to give the Cats some credit there. That was on 2nd down and 3rd down, stopping them from a 1.5 foot out was fantastic.
Absolutely.
And that 4th down play, that was not a gimme. They were absolutely bringing it. And did a nice job, as you see the Rosemount student section having a lot to cheer about, no question about that.
Again, camo night. Camo out for the Rosemount Irish faithful. We got another month or so till the deer hunting opener, I think. Well, all the blaze orange over there.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna issue a challenge to whoever's listening. If you have a student section and you're doing a camo out, okay? Have somebody dress up as the deer. have somebody dress up, like with the costume, with the antlers, and the whole 9 yards, and have somebody come as the deer. That would be pretty hilarious. I mean, I'm just saying, if you want to be a small town legend,
we got antlers.
Well, hey, we have antlers.
We got antlers.
We have antlers. We have antlers. Although I was hoping for a full deer head, but I mean that's 50% credit there.
Yeah. Little pooch kick. This one will be returnable, we think. Yep, there we go. Ross for the Wildcats. Crosses the 20. Flag behind the play. This one's coming back. Nice return out to the 45-yard line. Finally knocked out of bounds by the kicker Simmering. But there is a hanky back at the 15-yard line. And once again, the Eagan Wildcats likely to start somewhere in the shadow of their own goalpost.
I think that's known as horrible field position, Mike.
I believe it is. Let's take a look. Here's the official call. Well, block in the back. Eagan on their own.
7-yard line?
Well, let's see where they put this one. Yeah, something like that. About the 7.5. We'll call it the 7. Though.
All right.
So Eagan, their last few drives, they've started. This was their 7. Started at their own 14, their own 20. Let's go. Keep going further back. Own 18, own 8, own 11, own 25, own 4. First down, by the way. Cats get it out across the 10-yard line. Brant with the carry on what should be final play of quarter number 3. Get him out near the 20, or I should say the 14-yard line by number 29, 7-yard run. And we got 12 minutes to go in this one. And Nathan, I'm not going to use that R word in this one.
You're not?
Not going to say regulation.
Well, why wouldn't you? I mean,
I'm thinking a 4-score lead for Rosemount is pretty safe in this one.
It should be pretty safe, but to be fair, if you're going to go with if you say regulation, and then by some infinitesimal chance the Wildcats come back and score 4 touchdowns here in the 4th quarter, and the Cats, now not this team, but we've seen Cats teams do that in the past.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going back to think of a playoff game against Forest Lake here a few years back. They hung 28, I think it was on the Rangers, not the Lakers, the Rangers, in the playoffs. Ended up ultimately losing that game, but not for lack of some real excitement in the 4th quarter. But yeah, I think the Rosemount Irish probably have this one sealed up. And for the Rosemount Irish, now here's the thing. For the Rosemount Irish, they still have a challenge in this remaining 12 minutes. They have to play perfect football, right? And not because the game is necessarily in doubt, but because they don't want to, first of all, they don't want to give the Wildcats 15-yard penalties and lose their minds on stuff. Also, they want to make sure that they're ready to roll it for next week. They want to keep momentum. They don't want to get sloppy or ugly here as this game progresses. They've got a big game next week, and they need to be mentally focused on that.
I was going to say, you use the term exciting game, big game for Rosemount next week. Quick update, by the way. Early 4th quarter, Lakeville South just took a 20-17 lead over Prior Lake. So, and I saw, you and I were talking to Coach Erdman before the game for Rosemount. You win this one, you're guaranteed a home playoff game, or at least a tie of the district title, I believe he said. I believe you win next week as well. You're guaranteed 2 games at Irish Stadium. No. By the way, the 6A brackets will be announced on Thursday the 16th. I think I said they're doing a 10 a.m. show on the Strip Varsity site.
Well, Maidman with a nice run here, fakes the dive, sticks it in quickly.
Yeah, nice 12-yard pickup there by the
absolutely
by the junior. And Brandt is going to get nowhere near 12 yards. He's not going to get 1.2, I don't think. Wrapped up by Wyatt Alexander. Big number 52 for the Irish, the junior. So second and let's call this 12.
Good job by Brandt holding onto that football. I mean, ball security is still incredibly important. What we don't want if you're the Wildcats is another fumble.
Gonna go for it. Going deep. Emerson is out there and nothing doing. Good coverage back there by Colin George for the Rosemount Irish. I like the call.
Those are the words I was just going to use, and you beat me to it. I like that call as well. It was not poorly executed. It was not an outrageous, like, you got to be kidding me, what are we doing here? Maidman steps back, watch him set up his feet, sets his feet nicely, puts his body into it, lays it up there. Coverage was right there. And so Emerson was going to have to make a heck of a catch in that situation, but why not?
Right. 3rd and 11. Looking near side. I think he was looking for Emerson on the sideline. Across his body, picked off. This is George. He had the nice defensive coverage a little bit ago. Now he gets the pick. And Rosemount, again, excellent field position at, this time it'll be just outside the Wildcat 30.
And from my perspective, that's a situation where a young man's trying to do a little too much, right? He's trying to make a play for his team. Maidman has the ball here, watch as he rolls out to the right side. He's got a little bit of pressure, wants to throw it there, doesn't, and then he throws it here, and really his receivers weren't coming back to him. He's just, again, credit to him, he's trying to do something to help jumpstart this team. But in this situation, that might have been a pull it down, try to get 2 yards, slide down, and then we'll punt the ball.
Teachable moment.
Absolutely, and every lesson, if a player is willing to learn, every play is an opportunity to learn and become a better player. And I think Maidman can do that. He can learn from that and say, hey, is this a situation where I need to maybe think about a different decision there? But, again, not going to rip the kid because he's working, he's doing something to try to create some offense for this team.
Timeout Eagan, by the way. I think they only had 10 guys on defense, I believe. Just a mental mistake there. So Rosemount is about to improve to 6-1. Eagan's going to fall to 2-5. He had 1 week to go in football, and then we said 2 weeks from tonight, the 6A playoffs will begin. They'll be on Friday the 24th. All the other classes start that Tuesday, and then they'll play again on Saturday the 25th. Pump fake, going deep, got him wide open, touchdown, Rosemount Irish. Cinemo, the reception, 30 yards out. We are an extra point away from running time.
Well, great execution by the Rosemount Irish. Honestly, I thought they'd probably hand this ball off and get that clock rolling. Instead, the Irish had another idea, and defensive secondary for the Wildcats has been a little bit shaky tonight. It hasn't quite had the coverage and had the stickiness that it's had in a few other games, and the Irish just taking advantage of that.
Swinging gate for Rosemount as well. Simmering, like I said, for the PAT and to put us in running time. Low snap, kick is up, and does not get there. Somebody burst through the line for the Wildcats, got a piece of that, but it was a low snap to start.
So you
might have been Watkins, I'm not certain though.
That seems to be who the coaches seem to be giving a high five to. But I'll tell you something, if you're the Rosemount Irish, okay, you've won the football game, clearly, right? You've played well tonight, your offense has moved the ball. Your extra points have been shaky.
Correct.
And you just had one block.
Yep.
I think if the Rosemount Irish want to win a state title, right? And that's their expectation, right? They want to go to state, they want to be in the state, in the state playoffs, make a run and that kind of thing. You've got to execute that stuff.
100%.
And so this week in practice, the coaching staff is going to say, hey, we have to make sure that this is tight. We have to make sure that we don't have any challenges. We have to make sure the snaps are good, the hold is good, the kicker's on target, on time. We have to make sure there's no leakage. All of that stuff's really, really important. In fact, if the Irish do get the football back in a situation where they can score points and it's, say, 4th down, they really got to kick a field goal. They really got to kick a field goal and execute that. I've said it for years. When teams in situations like this, don't go for 7, don't go for a 4th down. Kick the field goal. Give your team some confidence that special teams can be one of their strengths.
Ross for Eagan. Hey, Wildcats are going to start outside their own 20. I think that's happened, one other time tonight?
Once other, yes. I was just going to say that's not a common occurrence.
No.
I mean, we'll have to dial that up. It's like a super blood moon, right? I mean, it just happens once every 50,000 years or something. It's not a full moon, but we do have a nice moon off to the northeast here from Wildcat Stadium.
Little village people cranked out over the PA system. YMCA, and, well, even the students aren't really into that one. From their own 26-yard line. Pitch, nearly fumbled, upended big time. That was number 23. Welcome to the varsity squad there, Max Tadding.
The Wildcats.
George, by the way, the hit. Pardon me, Nathan.
Yep, I was going to say the Cats obviously have got some stuff to work on. Just that pitch is just not where it needs to be. I want to give a big shout out to our award-winning ETV crew that make us look and sound so good. Our executive producer is Josh Sibley. Captions and graphics from Tim Shinyon, Ken Trainer on our replay with Carter Bain, can't read my own handwriting. Carter Bain on audio as we have a yellow hanky in the air, and now is unfortunately the time when we will start to see those as this game is well out of reach. And I hope that both teams will make smart decisions moving forward. Emmett Johnson, Winter Price, Nick Mudd, and Kate Sibley are our camera folks. Thanks for making us look and sound so good here on ETV. In fact, I know for a fact that there are a handful of Rosemount families who said, you know what, we're just going to take it in on ETV tonight.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you guys joining us, and you've watched your Irish demonstrate some really dominating football.
And Jeff Erdman thought his wife would be watching as well tonight. Didn't want us to give a shout out, but we're going to do it anyway. So let's take a look here. Officials taking their time. Somebody else is going to be running some laps for Rosemount. Yeah. That was Nolan Krakke, by the way, with the carry for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Irish just need to get out of this game. Just let the clock run. Keep the ball in front of you. Get out of this game. Don't make any bad decisions, right? I mean, you don't want to do anything that's going to get you either thrown out of a game or just play football. You guys will be okay. Just play.
And he'll keep it, cuts it up. And he gets dropped at about midfield. Kind of pushed down on that play by number 24, Connor McNamara. Across midfield for one of the few times tonight.
And it's incumbent upon the Wildcats, as you see their offensive line. A nice surge by the offensive line. I don't know if you saw that or not. I mean, folks at home, on that replay, some great camera work showing that offensive line moved a good 2 yards down the field and doing a nice job. I imagine the Irish are, I think I see some new numbers out there. I think the Irish are rotating in maybe some players who haven't played as much this season.
Nice run there by the Wildcats. I bid on the fake, and they got down into the 42-yard line. Sticks are going to move once again.
Cats would feel good about putting this one putting one more in the end zone, Mike. And it's a stingy, as we've said before earlier this evening, a stingy Irish defense. And of course, the Cats want to keep this clock running too. I get a sense that the Cats are not in a hurry necessarily.
Like you said, though, just finish strong. Yeah, but he'll keep that one. And he gets down to the 30. Nice job of hanging on to that football as George really went for the strip. Did not happen.
Yeah, I think that's Maidman's making some nice decisions here, right? I mean, he's making some nice decisions. Watch him coming into your living room here. He could pitch that ball, but he says, nah, you know what? I see a seam. I'm going to take, one coach always told me, if you're the quarterback on the option, or if you're running something like that and you have 5 yards of green grass, just take it. Don't try to overcomplicate things, and that's exactly what he did there. He did a nice job with that.
Inside 8 minutes to go in this one. And it keeps it once again. A couple of players there. Walensky first man in, and then Labari helping out as well. Ball's inside the 25-yard line. 4-yard pickup. Actually, going to say 6-yard pickup, my bad.
So Cats will be on the road for the playoffs. Obviously, the Rosemount Irish almost certainly with a home game.
Yep.
At least one.
At least
maybe,
one.
Maybe two. Who knows how that goes?
Yeah, I would think 2. Well, I think the opportunity would be there for 2. You got to win your first one, of course. Nice pressure that time again by the Rosemount defense. Going to set up 3rd and long for the Wildcats. I want to give a quick shout out, by the way, to the Chain Gang. We've seen them all year. We really haven't mentioned their names, but it's Tricia Burback. She leads the best Chain Gang in the South Suburban Conference. Matt Stoke is over there. Jeremy Bly, Scott Hageland as well. Well, thank you for everybody helping out on the Chain Gang here in Wildcat Country. 3rd and 7. They've been going to the air. And the near side, is it caught? They are going to say it was caught. Number 9, Reese with the reception. It's going to be 4th and about 1 upcoming for the Cats.
Interesting to see here what the Cats do. So, I mean, there's part of me that wants them to pull something out, rabbit out of the hat, do something interesting. But then there's part of me that says, hey, the game's kind of over. Let's just see if we can get a yard and a half or whatever and move on.
Maidman, he'll keep it. They got it. Nice job hanging on to that football. Again, George going in there for the strip for Rosemount. Cinemo in as well for the Irish. I think at this point, if you're an Eagan fan, scoring would be nice. But maybe more importantly, nobody get hurt. This team cannot afford any more injuries, especially on a short week.
Well, absolutely. And what's amazing to me, frankly, Mike, is how many of these injuries have occurred that are season-ending. Right. I mean, they've had so many season-ending injuries, especially in the offensive line, which for this type of team, this type of offense, is just a killer.
Straight ahead that time. I believe that was Cracky once again. Nolan Cracky, 6-foot junior. A couple of carries on this drive, number 32. Again, we see all the pink out there. It is tackle cancer night here in Wildcat Country. Down to the 16-yard line. 3-yard pickup for the Wildcats. And the clock continues to roll. 4:38 and counting. And the quarterback again. Whole bunch of Rosemount Irish in on that stop. Colin McMullen among them, number 32 for Rosemount.
So Maidman's making some good decisions, and we called him out earlier for making some good decisions. He needs to make another good decision. That is self-preservation. Yep. He's running high right now, and the Irish are wrapping him up and hitting him with multiple tacklers. Nobody wants to. He's got to stay down. He's got to get down. He's got to do a good job of keeping himself healthy.
Third down, Eagan. Going to go to the air. Going deep. Got his man. Touchdown 6. Did they get? No, they're going to say he did not have it. Official on the spot waves his arm. No touchdown.
I think that's the right call.
I did too,
I
but
think it is.
Tatting with the.
We're going to check this out in the replay. It's going to come right to your living room, left side of your screen. It's a good ball. Tatting's out, lays out for it, catches the ball there. Does he? No.
Didn't have it.
It squirts out. It squirts out. Heck of a
try, though.
Oh yeah, heck of an effort. And for a moment, the referees were not sure.
No, they weren't.
And I think they were going to, but they confirmed they got it right, and it's an incomplete pass.
Yep. 4th and 6. Air one more time. That ball is incomplete. Rosemount to take over on downs with 3:43 to go in this one. One of the few times Rosemount will start driving their own end.
That's right. And because of that missed extra point,
Exactly.
you might be saying, guys, Mike, Nathan, you said we were in running time. We're not in running time because of the missed extra point. We were expecting to be in running time, but we're not.
Yes, we did. Oh. Let's see if any other score updates coming across. I don't see anything. We saw Rogers was up 17-7 on Anoka in the Pumpkin Bowl tonight. That was at the half. Again, Wildcats are at Rogers next Wednesday. A 6 o'clock start up in Rogers. With Roman Dioia. D-I-I-O-I-A. The ball carrier for Rosemount. That McKenna Becker in the game for the Eagan Wildcats. Number 25, there's McKenna. How about that? Good for McKenna. See if McKenna can get a stop. Rosemount taking plenty of time, almost running the play clock down. And out across, almost across the 30-yard line. Oh, did not stay in bounds, though. 31, the ball carrier. Nicola, no, take that back. 31 for Rosemount. Christian Britnell, sophomore. Ten-yard gain for the sophomore.
Well, we're into the last couple of minutes here, Mike. I will say to you now, because this is our last football broadcast of the season, it's been a good season. Thanks for joining me here in the booth.
Yeah, thank you as well. What do we figure? This is year, what do we say, 9, 10 we've been doing this?
I think we're in number 10.
I
think this is the conclusion of season 10.
We're getting older. We're losing track of these things. But hey, another little over a month we'll be at the Eagan Civic Arena for hockey. Hard to believe the first boys hockey game is a little over a month away. Girls will be before then even.
Girls will be before that. Tryouts start for the girls, and I'm sure this is across the board for the Irish and Lightning and everybody. It's the same thing. Tryouts start in less than 2 weeks. Okay. So captain's practices are in full swing, and of course the never-ending winter sports season will start earlier and earlier. We might as well just start it in August at this point.
Yeah. I know youth hockey is well under, or is about to get going, and I know you said your daughter's in the process of tryouts, and my son was telling me he's got some officiated games coming up this weekend already. As Rosemount at this point, they're just going to run this clock out. Buck 22 and counting. Again, I want to make sure we thank each other for what we've done, but we got to give the crew a ton of thanks. I saw the video today, by the way, on Eagan TV. Carter was here yesterday setting up for this game, and Josh had to come out and tell him you're a day early. Of course, Carter looks at Josh and says, well, hey, what are you doing here? So if you haven't had a chance, take a look. $50 seconds to go. Play clock at 6. If Rosemount plays their cards right, this will be the last play of the game. Okay, it's going to be 4th down. Play clock is at 40. Game clock's at 35. Thank you for coming, everyone. Please drive home safely. So the Rosemount Irish are going to improve to 6-1. Big game against Lakeville South coming up. Eagan Wildcats are going to fall to 2-5 on the season. They're at Rogers next week. And just a reminder, the playoff announcement show for 6A scheduled for 10 a.m. on Thursday the 16th on the Strip Varsity site. But you know word's going to get out quickly where the Wildcats go, who Rosemount is going to be home to on that first one. And again, Tackle Cancer Night here in Wildcat country. Unfortunately for the Wildcats, it's 41-7 on the short end of that score.
Well, the Wildcats did some good things. No question about that, but they still had some of those struggles, and some of the struggles that we've had for the Wildcats this season, the fumbling, the occasionally the missed tackles, things like that. All of those things, when you roll them all together, that's just not going to get it done against a very good Rosemount Irish football team. And the Irish are back. The last 2 years, maybe down a little bit in Rosemount in terms of the football team, the varsity level, but they've got an infusion of talent. The coaching staff has got them dialed in, and next week will be a heck of a football game between the Irish and the Cougars.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you can check your local listings for that one. I know Rosemount's got some kind of streaming service they have down there, but bottom line, that's going to wrap it up here in Wildcat country tonight. Congratulations to the Rosemount Irish as they're going to head back down Highway 3 with a 41-7 win over the Eagan Wildcats. Quick thank you to all the Eagan seniors for everything you've done for this program. Good luck the next 2 weeks. And again, on behalf of our entire Eagan TV crew, he's Nathan Cron. I'm Mike Cook. Thanks for being with us tonight and all season. You've been watching Eagan Wildcat football on ETV.